When did the CPI come out, Monday or Tuesday?
When you listen to the advice of Phil Grande at philsgang.com, you'll find investing in the stock market makes sense with the right guidance.
People keep saying to me, boy, things are hard, things are tough. Boy, the market's really screwed up. And I don't agree with them. For us here at Phil's Gang, we make it so it's simple. It doesn't matter if the market's bad or good. We consistently do well because we make it simple. And just like for my listeners on the radio or on the internet or my podcast, we make it simple. We try to break it down so you really understand why the market is going up or why there's continued inflation or why the bank rates are going up. So you understand, especially yields. The most important thing to understand how yields work. Just what we do. We work hard at it.
Trusted advice, easy to understand strategies that will make you a better investor. Get all the details at philsgang.com. That's philsgang.com. When making wise investment decisions, Phil Grande has some sound reasons you should join Phil's Gang.
When I started this, they asked me, okay, can you explain to people why they should join the gang? Gee, I thought about that. And I guess to make money. But more than that, to get good direction on which way the economy's really going. We get so much crap, so many lies, how great the economy is and how great the tech business is, and when it's not. The problem is we have too many people in Washington and in this industry that just don't tell the truth. The truth is everything. And here at Phil's Gang, we stick with the facts. We tell the truth. We make sure our members, are getting the best information, and our listeners, like you. We make that information available to you and make it simple and understandable.
Good investing means understanding how the stock market works. Join today at philsgang.com.
Phil Grande here, Phil's Gang Radio Show. Tired of Wall Street's games? We've got the antidote. Learn the art of short selling. And then you're going to gain a top-notch stock market education with Phil's Gang and philsgang.com. We're so confident.
been listening to Phil's Gang with your host, Phil Grande, on the Off the Wall Street Radio Network. Off the Wall Street Radio Network. Remember to visit Phil's website at philsgang.com. That's philsgang.com. Or call the office, 877-600-4264. That's 877-600-4264.
It's up to me to make my dreams come.
I believe that every single human being with a laptop computer and an internet connection should be required to give trading at least a shot.
Following Phil, his charting system has really been a huge impact on my career and my life.
I believe that every educated individual on planet Earth.
I would recommend Phil's Gang to the mom and pop out there. I would recommend it to parents teaching their children. I would recommend it to grandparents.
Should do this. It's not for every single human being on Earth. I know this, but it's one of those things that you should try, because if you happen to get it right, if you happen to be one of the ones that this is for.
Follow the money. Follow Phil Grande.
Oh my God.
Hi, I'm Phil Grande at philsgang.com. That's right, philsgang.com. Join my gang for 10 days. It's free.
What's in front of you is a life of incredible joy, freedom, and independence.
Philsgang.com.
Phil Grande has successfully taught tens of thousands of investors how to navigate the market with confidence.
Hi, I'm Phil Grande at philsgang.com. That's right, philsgang.com. Join my gang for 10 days. It's free. If anything, during that 10-day period, you're going to learn how the market really works. You're going to find information that you never had before. You're going to walk away and go, I didn't know that. So join my gang for 10 days free, philsgang.com. And you're also going to learn how to make money when the market goes down. It's kind of silly just sitting there when the market going down, hoping. Why hope when you can sell short and make money? Either way, you make money when the market goes up, you make money when the market goes down. That's the benefit of Phil's Gang. You make money.
Become a Phil's Gang member and receive the training, advice, and software that will take your investing to the next level.
philsgang.com. Sign up free for 10 days.
When you listen to the advice of Phil Grande at philsgang.com, you'll find investing in the stock market makes sense with the right guidance.
People keep saying to me, boy, things are hard. Things are tough. Boy, the market's really screwed up. And I don't agree with them. For us here at Phil's Gang, we make it so it's simple. It doesn't matter if the market's bad or good. We consistently do well because we make it simple. And just like for my listeners on the radio or on the internet or my podcast, we make it simple. We try to break it down so you really understand why the market is going up, or why there's continued inflation, or why the bank rates are going up. So you understand, especially yields. The most important thing to understand how yields work. Just what we do. We work hard at it.
Trusted advice, easy to understand strategies that will make you a better investor. Get all the details at philsgang.com. That's philsgang.com. There's a lot of noise out there in the financial world. Bank failures, interest rates, bonds versus stocks. It's a lot. That's why it's important to find a voice of reason that can guide you through these volatile times. Phil Grande and philsgang.com is where you can find honest, helpful guidance to successful investing.
Get the knowledge and understand how the market really works.
And for a limited time, you can join Phil's Gang free for 10 days.
philsgang.com. That's philsgang.com.
Why are investors listening to Phil Grande of philsgang.com?
You know why people listen to my show? Because I make it simple. When you talk about the stock market, they make it so complicated. I make it easy to understand. For the average investor, the Main Street investor, most of the time, these guys, like they're talking to each other. We talk directly to you and we listen to you.
Invest better with the sound advice of Phil Grande at philsgang.com. philsgang.com. Want the truth when investing in the stock market? Here's how.
Hi, I'm Phil Grande at philsgang.com. Listen to my radio show every day because that's where you're going to get the truth. You're not going to get the truth listening to these dopes on Fake Business News Network. The other day, Kramer said, don't listen to the banks. They're giving you wrong information. When he told you to buy Merrill Lynch, remember? And what happened? They went broke.
Get the truth at philsgang.com.
Join my gang, philsgang.com. Get the truth. And also listen to me on my podcast on YouTube and Rumble. That's philsgang.com.
To be a successful investor, you need to stay current with the daily changes in the economy and the stock market. Phil Grande and philsgang.com can be your guide to becoming a better investor. Try the free 10-day trial at philsgang.com for the working investor. From the opening bell to the closing, stay informed with what's happening in real time. The Working Investor program includes full access to the Phil's Gang website, a morning update on what to look for that day on Wall Street, a market wrap on that day's trading, plus seminars, training, and tools to help you become a better investor. Go to philsgang.com for a free 10-day trial. After that, it's just $59.95 a month for membership, daily updates, training, software, and the best investing advice every day. You can invest with the best. Phil Grande and philsgang.com. That's philsgang.com. philsgang.com.
Hi, I'm Phil Grande, philsgang.com. Are you tired of being lied to about some magical economic recovery that only benefits the 1 percentile? And then when the market does collapse, you're sitting there calling your broker, what do I do? When you should be shorting? Learn how to short the market. Continue to listen to my radio show, philsgang.com. Become a member, only $39.95 a month, and learn how to short.
Don't wait. Find out more at philsgang.com or call 877-600-GANG. That's 877-600-4264. When the stock market is up one day and down the next, you need experienced advice from a pro.
Hi, I'm Phil Grande at philsgang.com. I know you're sitting there watching the stock market. You're going, what? Is this nuts? Market goes up 700 points. Next day goes up 800 points. Then the market goes back down. Then it goes back up. What that is volatility.
You want to invest your money and grow your wealth. How do you invest intelligently?
But you got to anticipate what's going to happen with the market. And that's what we give you. Information so you can anticipate in advance what the market's going to do, so you know what stocks to buy, you know what stocks to short. It's all about having good information and anticipation. You got to anticipate. The one thing you can't do is rely on your brokers. Listen.
Our responsibility begins and ends with our partners and our shareholders, and that's it.
What are you, nuts? Partners or shareholders? You're not included.
Check out the free 10-day trial and follow Phil to investing success. Learn more at philsgang.com. philsgang.com. The stocks discussed on Phil's Gang are not in any way a recommendation or solicitation to buy, sell, or hold. If considering acting on information presented, we first recommend you seek out a competent, licensed professional for advice. Get ready for the radio show that tells you what Wall Street doesn't want you to know.
Oh, I'm a money magnet. Money, money, money's coming to me. Money sets me free. I'm a money magnet. Money, 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 money's coming to me.
It's your daily dose of how to manage your money. And now it's time for Phil's Gang on the Off the Wall Street Radio Network. With your host, Phil Grande.
And welcome to Phil's Gang. Well, we had that big rally on Tuesday. We were told, hey, this is it. Inflation, we beat it. That's right. The Fake Business News Network came out and said, we finally beat inflation. We're guaranteed a soft landing. There's not going to be any rate hikes. Nothing could be better. We beat it. 0.1%. And the market went nuts. Market went nuts. The tourist traders jumped in. The market rallied 600%. 600%? I mean, 600 points? Are you nuts? When our inflation is still at a 40-year high, gasoline is still 50% higher than the day Biden took office, our rents are still up 63%, go all the way down the line. People are suffering. But 0.1%? of 1% is a victory? Inflation is still at 4%. Real inflation is at 14%. But here's the real problem. People now are asking me, it's kind of funny, they're asking me, well, you were right about the rally, Phil. You said there'd be a big rally before the crash. So when's this rally going to stop? Well, the answer's simple. That first, what they do each time this happens, Citi and Goldman Sachs and Wells Fargo, the 5 biggest banks, they have to get out of positions their pension funds. The teachers union, the city and state workers, police, fire, labor, who are with them. They got to make sure they make money before the crash. Now, what they need is the help. We need help from the tourists, the herd. That's right. They know the tourist investor has a herd mentality. They know that. And they just have to spark that herd. And once they spark that herd, they'll push this market straight up. They did the same thing in 2008. And they count on that. They got to get that rally up one more time. And who's going to do that for them? Not the big institutions. You think the insurance companies, the hedge funds, you think they're going to touch these stocks that are so overvalued you get nosebleeds when you buy them? Now, that's called smart money. They're not going to touch these. They know that. So they have to depend on the herd. And just that one bit, that little 1/10 of 1% against 40-year high, against, again, rates still up 63%. What the hell is 1/10 of 1% going to do helping folks who are renting and rates are still up 63%? How's it going to help you when you fill your gasoline up and prices are still up 50%? Food at the grocery store is still up. Not. But this doesn't matter. So people are forgetting that the banks are the problem. No rally ever holds, and no rally is ever going to hold. Haven't we learned that lesson? Every rally we've had since 2008 has failed. Because until we fix the banks, because the banks are insolvent, we never did anything to fix the banks. Never. You got to fix these banks. If you don't, no matter what rally you have, it won't hold. Now, again, they're asking me, well, how long will this rally go up? I said, well, the best thing to watch is go look at a symbol called IWM. Put it up on your chart, IWM. It's the small mid-cap stocks. It's the Russell 2000. That's the sentiment of the market. If you really want to know what the market is going to do, what the feeling is, the real truth, the truth, you don't look at the NASDAQ, you don't look at the S&P. There's no truth there. It's all manipulation. But you look at IWM, the small mid-cap stocks, that's where the truth is, right there. And if the small, and I pointed out many, many times to my gang members, showing the reason this market can't hold rallies too is because the small mid-cap stocks are underperforming terribly, especially the banks, terribly. Can't get a rally going. So if you watch IWM, which had a gap up, if you watch that, if it continues to go up and the 10-year Treasury yield continues to go down, then the rally will continue. It means that they haven't got the teachers' unions out yet and the state workers out yet, but they will. They will. So 1/10 of 1%, my God. I mean, you talk about setting off the herd.
Keep moving.
Unbelievable. Okay, so where do we stand? Well, let's just go back in a little history and you'll know exactly what's going on. If you go back to, again, the crash of 2008, and remember, they made a decision in 2008 and 2009. Who's they? Well, first in 2008 was George Bush. He had to make a decision. What about these banks? We got to fix these banks. We got to let them go. These banks are nuts. We got to just let the banks that are falling apart, the biggest banks that are falling apart, let them go down, and we'll take the best parts of them and we'll spread those parts over the remaining good, strong banks. And that way the banking system will get stronger and we'll have fixed the illness. And then Obama, remember, he was coming into office, and Obama said and agreed with Biden, no, let's not do that. Let's not fix the banks. I mean, let's not take this market or the economy and try to turn it into a real productive economy. Why don't we borrow $112 billion, and why don't we take the banks? Let's put that $112 billion in fixing and propping the banks up. We'll prop them up. Well, wait a minute. Why don't you take the $112 billion, put it into business investment, because business investment creates jobs, creates savings, creates growth, and business investment doesn't create inflation. If you're going to take $112 billion and prop the banks up, where you're going to give these banks that are broke and busted, you're going to give them money so at night they can loan back to each other at zero rates, and then they can loan to CEOs of tech companies at almost near zero rates, so they can purchase their own stocks to push the stocks up when there's no earnings by just simply taking the stocks off the market. That's what they do. They simply just, when they buy their own stock, they take the stocks off the market. The less stocks available to be traded, it moves the price up without having profits. And that's why the stock market went up. The S&P went up 650%, and NASDAQ went up 1,200%, and they didn't need to have any profits. Didn't have to have any earnings. All they had to do is keep on printing this money. And then the bad banks that were busted, they just loaned to each other overnight. And then those banks would loan to the CEOs, and the CEOs would take the money, buy their own stock back, and all of a sudden you got this hell of a rally going. But wait a minute, there was a problem with the rally. It's not real. First of all, it's not going up because there's earnings or productivity. It's rigged. It's going up because it's rigged. Where's the productivity? There isn't. So how's it going to sustain itself? Well, it's not. But did they care? Well, we'll answer that question when we get back.
Want more information on this show? Go to philsgang.com or give them a call at 877-600-GANG. You can be a successful investor in the stock market by knowing what the market is going to do.
Hi, I'm Phil Grande at philsgang.com. God, you go nuts listening to these shows on TV, Kramer, any of them. I mean, they're giving you total garbage. Garbage in, garbage out. One day they tell you, buy this stock. Next day, don't buy the stock. Then you have two people on the show, one guy saying buy it, the other guy says don't buy it. So the question is, what the hell do you do? Well, we don't have questions here at Phil's Gang. And they never have to ask the question, what do you think the market's going to do? My members always know what the market's going to do because they've learned how to follow the money. That's right, follow the money. You don't follow fundamentals, you follow the money. And what is that? That's volume. That's the buyers and the sellers. And the other thing, you got to learn how to sell a stock as well as buy a stock.
Follow the money. Follow Phil Grande.
Check it out, philsgang.com. Go to my podcast, YouTube, and Rumble every day. That's philsgang.com.
If you want to invest your money and grow your wealth, listen to this.
Hi, I'm Phil Grande at philsgang.com. I get so tired of listening to the same garbage every day, listening to the fake business news network telling you why you should buy this stock, why you should buy, and they're always wrong. Join my gang, philsgang.com, free for 10 days. You're going to learn when to buy a stock and when not to buy a stock. Hey, years ago it was different. You could buy a stock based on fundamentals. You could buy a stock based on earnings. You could buy a stock based on PE ratios. Those days are gone. That ended with QE. That ended when they financially engineered the market in 2008. Gone. Now you got to follow the money. And we have the knowledge because we have the chart. Pro 2 color code chart tells you when to buy, when to sell, when to run like hell.
For a limited time, you can join Phil's Gang free for 10 days.
Check it out, philsgang.com. Get the truth, get the knowledge, and understand how the market really works.
What if you could have an in-depth understanding of the stock market just like the pros? Well, thanks to Phil Grande and philsgang.com, you can. philsgang.com offers comprehensive, up-to-date market information designed to help you understand and anticipate market behavior. With philsgang.com, you'll build your investing confidence even through down cycles and periods of uncertainty. Go to philsgang.com. philsgang.com today. 877-600-GANG. 877-600-4264. With the philsgang.com membership, we bring investors right to the floor, into the pits with Phil's daily live webinar classroom. Get inside market guidance on investing strategies. Find out more at philsgang.com or call 877-600-GANG. That's 877-600-4264. Don't have time to analyze and study stocks? At philsgang.com, we recognize that there are all types of investors, and we also recognize that your time is valuable. So we offer investing programs for all individuals. We offer investing programs for long-term and short-term positions. And philsgang.com provides quick and easy to understand investing videos that only take a few minutes to watch. With the philsgang.com investing programs, you will learn technical stock charting, how to execute your trades, and most importantly, you will gain the confidence to know when to get out of a stock and take profits. Sign up at philsgang.com. That's philsgang.com. Or give them a call, 877-600-GANG. You want to invest your money and grow your wealth. How do you invest intelligently? Become a Phil's Gang member and receive the training, advice, and software that will take your investing to the next level. Phil's Gang software is easy to use, painless to navigate, and tells you exactly when to buy and sell to help maximize profits. Sign up for a 10-day free trial to see our platform in action. Learn more at philsgang.com. That's philsgang.com. There's nothing better than learning from the experts, especially when it comes to investing your hard-earned money.
Hi, this is Phil Grande, host of Phil's Gang Radio Show. At Phil's Gang and philsgang.com, I have one goal in mind: to help you become a skilled investor in the stock market and find your financial freedom. With the Working Investor Program, you will learn what Wall Street doesn't want you to know. You'll develop skills like selling short and how to profit, even in a stock market crash. This is the real world investing information that will give you the edge to be successful in the stock market. No gimmicks, just real strategies, and I'll make the offer even better with a 10-day free trial of the Working Investor Program.
Once you're in the gang, you're in the know. And with the free 10-day trial of the Working Investor Program, there's no reason not to give it a try.
Become a Phil's Gang member and reclaim your financial freedom. Go to philsgang.com. That's philsgang.com.
Welcome back. Learn, invest, and make profits with Phil Grande. Simply go to philsgang.com. Now, here's Phil.
New data, same story. Stocks were again on the rise following yet another cooler than expected inflation print. The Dow notched a 4-day win streak. That is a very, very impressive accomplishment.
Unbelievable. Why didn't they tell the truth? Why don't they tell the truth that this rally's not going to hold? If the rally from March 2009 to 2022 didn't hold, because when yields went up from 1.5% on a 10-year treasury to 4%, what happened? The tech stocks collapsed. And what happened with the bank stocks? They usually like very high yields. It's good for them. Didn't work. They collapsed. So we went immediately from that high in 2022 of January right down to October 13, 2022, about a 30% loss. But wait a minute, even before that, why is it? In 2018, remember I called the first correction. I called it in January 2018. I said, we're going to correct. We haven't corrected in 5 years. We're going to correct. And it did the last month of December. And we went down 18%. And then why is it that, again, when they rallied it back up in 2020, it dropped about another 22%, 28%? Why couldn't it hold that rally? Why is it when we got to January 2022, they couldn't hold that rally either? which went down to, I just talked about, October of 2022. And why is it when they rallied 4 more times trying to get back to that high of 2022 January on the S&P at 4, we'll use the SPY, 477, everybody knows that number. Why has it failed 4 times to get back there? Why every time is it failing if we have such a good, great economy? Oh, and remember, inflation went down 0.1%. Because in 2008, they made a huge mistake. GW and Obama. They would not fix the banks. They should just let the bad banks collapse. They wouldn't do it. Instead, they went and borrowed $112 billion to prop the stock market up, to prop the banks up, to push a tech rally by simply giving money to the banks of so near zero interest rates, given to the CEOs of tech companies so they could buy their own shares, push their own stock up. But they had a problem on the way, didn't they, to that big rally? Interest rates started to go up because inflation's going up. When you're printing $112 billion, that's inflation. See, if you use that $112 billion to put into business investment, there's no inflation. But they didn't care about that. They didn't care about that. Then, in October 2022, when they tried to rally the market, they had a problem. They couldn't rally the market because why? Well, the tech stocks were down. Now, who leads the market all the time? Bank stocks. But the bank stocks had a problem too, because the bank stocks, remember, they enjoy high yields. They want high yields. And we had high yields. But the banks were in trouble. High yields now are killing them. All kinds of defaults going on with high yields. So they couldn't get a rally going with the banks because the banks were getting destroyed. So they came up with a plan of putting a pool together this is on top of the $112 billion. They put another pool of about $20 billion, and they told the 4 biggest banks to go in and buy nothing but Apple and Microsoft. And we don't care if the yields are at 1.4%. At 4%, doesn't matter. As long as you keep buying Microsoft and Apple, those 2 stocks, will get a rally going. And that's what they did. They got a rally up to July 27th to 2023. But it wasn't going to hold. Because why? Because they were doing it with borrowed money, forcing it up. And then guess what happened? Didn't hold. Dropped back. But something happened on the way up during that rally from 2022 October up to July of 2023. What happened? Well, halfway up in March of 2023, all of a sudden we got banks blowing up. 3 banks. Silicon Valley Bank, First Republic, and Signature. These banks were blowing up. Wow. Well, what'd they do? Well, between March 10th and March 19th of 2023, when you're blowing the banks up, instead of letting them blow up and fix them, they borrowed another $140 billion. They borrowed another $54 billion. They borrowed another $225 billion. That's on top of the $112 billion. And then J.P. Morgan steps in, Bank of America steps in, Citi steps in and throws in $30 billion. And if that wasn't enough, they had 180 more banks ready to go under. Remember, there was 180 more of these banks like First Republic, Silicon Valley, and Signature ready to go under. So how'd they stop that? They printed on top of the $140 billion, $54 billion, $225 billion, the $30 billion. They printed another $12 billion, and they put a program together, a banking program together. The Bank Term Funding Program. Nice name, Bank Term Funding. What was that for? Well, when people are in all these 180 banks and people are running to the bank and they want their money and they want to buy a 3-month treasury, it gets 5%, you better have the money there. You better have the money there for them. See, remember, Signature, First Republic, and Silicon Valley didn't have that luxury. They didn't have any money. They couldn't give money to their customers. But the Fed came in and saved the customers, but the banks went broke. Well, the reason they didn't want these banks to go broke because they've been hiding that they've been losing money, $600 billion. Wait a minute. How could they be losing $600 billion and not tell us that? And how can it be that the four biggest banks in the country, they're losing money? JP Morgan's losing money, Citigroup's losing money, Wells Fargo's losing money. How are they getting away with it? How are they hiding that? Well, there was a law put in place by Dodd and Frank after the 2008 crash. Those two gangsters. What was the law? They said, well, here's how we protect the banks. We won't allow the banks, or we'll make sure the banks can hide their losses. Well, how do you do that? Well, we're going to make it legal. We'll talk about that when we get back. Don't worry, though. Inflation's down 0.1%. Well, that's good, man.
Want more information on this show? Go to philsgang.com or give them a call at 877-600-GANG. When the stock market is volatile, how do you invest intelligently?
Hi, I'm Phil Grande at philsgang.com. There's no need for you to be panicking in a market that goes up 800 points one day, 700 points, then it goes down again. All you need is good advice, need good direction. You don't get that from your CNBC and the Fox Business and all these crazy shows. You don't. Here's what you get from them. Thank you, Jim Cramer. But this is something this really bugs me. Listen to this.
Our responsibility begins and ends with our partners and our shareholders, and that's it.
What? Their responsibility is to their partners and shareholders and not to you? Check my site out, philsgang.com.
When the stock market is up one day and down the next, you need the experience of Phil Grande at philsgang.com.
What a difference it makes in your financial life. philsgang.com. It works.
When making wise investment decisions, Phil Grande has some sound reasons you should join Phil's gang.
You know, when I started this, they asked me, okay, can you explain to people why they should join the gang? Gee, I thought about that. And I guess to make money. But more than that, to get good direction on which way the economy's really going. We get so much crap, so many lies, how great the economy is and how great the tech business is, and when it's not. The problem is we have too many people in Washington and in this industry that just don't tell the truth. The truth is everything. And here at Phil's Gang, we stick with the facts. We tell the truth. We make sure our members, are getting the best information, and our listeners, like you. We make that information available to you and make it simple and understandable.
Good investing means understanding how the stock market works. Join today at philsgang.com. Want the truth when investing in the stock market? Here's how.
Hi, I'm Phil Grande at philsgang.com. Listen to my radio show every day because that's where you're going to get the truth. You're not going to get the truth listening to these dopes on Fake Business News Network. The other day, Kramer said, don't listen to the banks. They're giving you wrong information. When he told you to buy Merrill Lynch, remember? And what happened? They went broke.
Get the truth at philsgang.com.
Join my gang, philsgang.com. Get the truth. And also listen to me on my podcast on YouTube and Rumble. That's philsgang.com.
You can be a successful investor in the stock market by knowing what the market is going to do.
Hi, I'm Phil Grande at philsgang.com. God, you go nuts listening to these shows on TV, Kramer, any of them. I mean, they're giving you total garbage. Garbage in, garbage out. One day they tell you, buy this stock. Next day, don't buy the stock. Then you have two people on the show. One guy saying buy it, the other guy says don't buy it. So the question is, what the hell do you do? Well, we don't have questions here at Phil's Gang. And they never have to ask the question, what do you think the market's going to do? My members always know what the market's going to do because they've learned how to follow the money. That's right. Follow the money. You don't follow fundamentals. You follow the money. And what is that? That's volume. That's the buyers and the sellers. And the other thing, you got to learn how to sell a stock as well as buy a stock.
Follow the money. Follow Phil Grande.
Check it out, philsgang.com. Go to my podcast, YouTube, and Rumble every day. That's philsgang.com.
I've been a Phil's Gang member since 2014. Over that time, I've generated over six-figure profits. Following Phil, his charting system has really been a huge impact on my career and my life. I would recommend Phil's Gang to the mom and pop out there. I would recommend it to parents teaching their children. I would recommend it to grandparents. If you really trust in their system, you will do well.
For more information, go to philsgang.com or give us a call at 877 877-600-4264. When the stock market is up one day and down the next, you need experienced advice from a pro.
Hi, I'm Phil Grande of philsgang.com. I know you're sitting there watching the stock market. You're going, what? Is this nuts? Market goes up 700 points. Next day goes up 800 points. Then the market goes back down. Then it goes back up. What that is volatility.
You want to invest your money and grow your wealth. How do you invest intelligently?
But you got to anticipate what's going to happen with the market. And that's what we give you. Information so you can anticipate in advance what the market's going to do, so you know what stocks to buy, you know what stocks to short. It's all about having good information and anticipation. You got to anticipate. The one thing you can't do is rely on your brokers. Listen.
Our responsibility begins and ends with our partners and our shareholders, and that's it.
What are you, nuts? Partners or shareholders? You're not included.
Check out the free 10-day trial and follow Phil to investing success. Learn more at philsgang.com. philsgang.com. Welcome back. Are you ready to make profits in the stock market? Why not check out philsgang.com or give us a call at 877-600-4264. Now, here's Phil.
Welcome back. Join my gang, Phil's Gang. Try it just for 10 days. It's free for 10 days. You'll learn how the market works over those 10 days. You'll learn how to sell short as well as how to buy. You'll understand how the bond market helps you in the stock market. And you understand how you follow money. You don't follow the BS like we got last week with the 1/10 of 1%, everything's okay again. No, we follow the footprint of money. It's the only thing you can trust. So let's get back to, again, remember, 2018, we couldn't hold that rally. 2020, we couldn't hold that rally. January 2022 to October, we couldn't hold that rally. And then we rallied from October. Remember, October 13th up to August 2023, we couldn't hold that rally. So what the hell's going on? Why can't you hold the rallies? Because the banks are broke. But see, they've been able to hide the banks being broke. First of all, they do this silly thing called a stress test, which is a bold-faced lie. But Senator Dodd and Frank came up with a crime. What they said is, let's change the accounting rules so that if a bank is down $50 billion, they don't have to put it on their statement as the bank is in the hole $50 billion. We'll change the law just for the bank. They can keep the loss on their books. They can keep it on their books. Can you imagine having a company and you lost $50 billion, but you don't have to record it, you don't have to tell anybody, and that's the law? That's what they did. So the three banks, Signature, First Republic, Silicon Valley, were sitting here with $50 billion in losses. Nobody knew it because they didn't have to report it because the Dodd-Frank rules said, no, you don't have to report your losses anymore. In other words, list it instead of market value, just list it as a retail value, what you think you should get for it. Can you imagine? Imagine having a little business and you can just sit there, go to the bank and borrow money and say, oh, I own a lumber company and I got $1 million worth of lumber, but I think it's worth $10 million. Oh, okay. Instead of giving you $500,000, we'll give you a $5 million loan because you think isn't that silly? Well, that's what they did. Right now, you take J.P. Morgan, you take, You got J.P. Morgan, Wells Fargo, Citi, Bank of America, Wells Fargo, JPM. They're hiding $287 billion in unrealized losses. Again, they don't have to. So when they came out, like last quarter, Bank of America said they made $47 billion. What? I looked it up, and they had $132 billion in losses, but they don't have to record it, don't have to tell anybody, because they believe it's worth more than that. They believe it's worth more than that. That's all they need. So that's why these rallies aren't going to hold. Now, that's how they mask it. So after you had that last crash from 2022, after that big 600% rally in the S&P, that big 1,200% rally in the NASDAQ, and rates went up. The 10-year Treasury shot up from 1.5. The 10-year Treasury was at 4. The stocks collapsed. The bank stocks collapsed. They had to run the market. They didn't know what to do. Banks always have to lead. Banks always used to lead the market. But in October of 2022, after the 30% crash of the banks and the tech stocks, they couldn't use the banks. They couldn't get them to rally. They're broke. So that's when they put the pool together. They said, then we'll get our 4 biggest banks to buy just Apple and Microsoft. Okay, but then when it ran up from I think it was around 348 on the S&P to 459 on the S&P. How much was that, Willie? 345 to 459 they went from October 2022 to July 2023. 30% rally. All fake. 30%. Well, how'd they get up there 30%? Well, how on earth did they move the tech stocks up when yields were at 4%, and when they were at 4%, the market dropped 30%. So how's the market going up 30% with the yields at 4%? It dropped 30%, the yields of 4%. Now it's going up with 40%. Well, you can do that when you print money and put a pool together, and the Federal Reserve forces the 4 banks they control to buy it. But didn't work, did it? No, because what happened? They lost that rally too. That rally, remember, it dropped from that 454 on 2023 July, and it dropped back to October. And now they're trying to do another rally, right? I mean, can you imagine what you're trying to convince people? That everything's okay because 1/10 of 1%, and they never fixed these banks, they're insolvent, and it's okay? How can it be okay? It's not okay. These rallies aren't sustainable. It's that simple. So, what you had to do, remember what we did, I told everybody we're going to have this one last rally. How many times did I tell you? And I told my members, let's buy nothing but they're going to run. I said they're going to start running the big stock, the big tech stocks, and they're going to run the bank stocks, and we're going to get a hell of a rally out of those stocks. And I was right. We're up 16%. We bought on October 27th. October 24th, we bought Intel. And then October 27th, I had my members, I gave them Microsoft, which is up 16%, Apple, NVIDIA, AMD, and those 4 stocks are up on an average of about 20%. And then I said, we got to get these banks too. They're going to rally. So we ended up with 5 banks, Bank of America, Goldman Sachs, Citi, CMA, the ETF, XLF, KRE ETF, and we're up about an average of about 15% in the banks. And we also bought the home builders. Now remember the dates. Remember the dates when we did this, October 27th, when nobody wanted these things. And I was right about the rally. So now they come out and they're trying to hold this market up by telling you inflation's on its way down. No, it's not. Now the other problem is we got debt and deficit crisis. That's right, we have a debt and deficit crisis on top of this. See, nobody wants to hear this. All they want to think is, oh, we got a great rally going. It's going to keep going. No, it's not. Biden continues to spend more than his tax revenues, for God's sakes. Don't you understand what that means? He believes, as his Marxist Jared Bernstein, his chief economic advisor, who his God is a guy who was a Marxist by the name of Krugman, that debt has no relevance. You just keep on printing and printing and printing, do all kinds of social programs, and that's what Obama felt. That's why Obama, remember in 2009, instead of taking his $112 billion, put into business investment and grow our economy so there wouldn't be any inflation. What did he do? He and Biden he and Bush got together, decided to rig the banks to go up. But now the problem is this. We got debt and deficits. That 1/10 of 1%. You think that's going to make a difference? What are you, nuts? These debt and deficits are continuing to cause inflation. For them to say there's no more inflation, how can you not have more inflation when you have more debt and more deficits? You think Biden is going to sit there and open up the oil fields? We got 300 years of oil sitting underneath our feet. Most of it's in Anwar. He's still destroying our oil. He won't let us be oil independent. So how in the hell can you say there's not going to be any inflation? It's over. Debt and deficits continue to cause inflation. Because why? Because they cause higher yields. That causes earnings to drop. That's why our earnings were the worst in 25 years. And it also causes reduction in business investment. Who wants to put money in business investment? So you got to learn how to sell short. We bought these stocks. We're doing great, but we're getting ready to turn around shorter.
Want more information on this show? Go to philsgang.com or give them a call at 877-600-GANG. You want to invest your money and grow your wealth. How do you invest intelligently? Become a Phil's Gang member and receive the training, advice, and software that will take your investing to the next level. Phil's Gang software is easy to use, painless to navigate, and tells you exactly when to buy and sell to help maximize profits. Sign up for a 10-day free trial to see our platform in action. Learn more at philsgang.com. That's philsgang.com. Why are investors listening to Phil Grande of philsgang.com?
You know why people listen to my show? Because I make it simple. When you talk about the stock market, they make it so complicated. I make it easy to understand. For the average investor, the Main Street investor, most of the time, these guys, like they're talking to each other. We talk directly to you and we listen to you.
Invest better with the sound advice of Phil Grande at philsgang.com. Phil Grande has successfully taught tens of thousands of investors how to navigate the market with confidence.
Hi, I'm Phil Grande at philsgang.com. That's right, philsgang.com. Join my gang for 10 days. It's free. If anything, during that 10-day period, you're going to learn how the market really works. You're going to find information that you never had before. You're going to walk away and go, I didn't know that. So join my gang for 10 days free, philsgang.com. And you're also going to learn how to make money when the market goes down. It's kind of silly just sitting there when the market going down, hoping. Why hope when you can sell short and make money? Either way, you make money when the market goes up, you make money when the market goes down. That's the benefit of Phil's Gang. You make money.
Become a Phil's Gang member and receive the training, advice, and software that will take your investing to the next level.
philsgang.com. Sign up free for 10 days. Hey folks, Phil Grande from Phil's Gang Radio Show. Are you going to let Wall Street control your financial freedom? Are you nuts? Learn what Wall Street doesn't want you to know, especially how to profit in a stock market crash. I'm offering a 10-day free trial to our Working Investor Program. No nonsense, just actionable insights. Don't miss out. Sign up to be a Phil's Gang member and secure your financial freedom. Visit www.philsgang.com today.
That's philsgang.com. philsgang.com. You want to invest your money and grow your wealth. How do you invest intelligently? Become a Phil's Gang member and receive the training, advice, and software that will take your investing to the next level. Our team is comprised of successful investors, all with proven track records. Phil's Gang software is easy to use, painless to navigate, and tells you exactly when to buy and sell to help maximize profits. Learn about common market mistakes and how to minimize them. Phil's Gang has successfully taught tens of thousands of investors how to navigate the market with confidence. You don't need to be a seasoned investor to benefit from the Phil's Gang platform, no matter what level of investor you are. Phil's Gang strategies for investing are designed to put you on the path to success. Sign up for a 10-day free trial to see our platform in action, avoid market pitfalls, and start winning with Phil's Gang. Learn more at philsgang.com. That's philsgang.com. Good investing means understanding how the stock market works.
Hi, I'm Phil Grande at philsgang.com. You know, if you really want to make sense of this market, you can't be listening to the fake Business News Network. They will not tell you the truth. They're to get you excited, to make sure you go out and you're happy so you'll buy something. That's not what we do here at Phil's Gang. We give you the truth, the direction, and that's what you need. Listen to me on my radio show each day and also on my Rumble and YouTube channel podcast. philsgang.com. That's philsgang.com.
Welcome back. Learn, invest, and make profits with Phil Grande. Simply go to philsgang.com. Now, here's Phil.
The economy is resilient. That's really the bottom line of it. The consumer is resilient.
Yeah, consumer's really resilient. Yeah, he's really resilient, man. Yeah, as long as he's got a credit card, as long as he's got savings he can take, as long as he's got equity he can pull out, as long as he's got a 401k, sure.
I spoke to Home Depot CFO Richard McPhail briefly, who said, quote, the consumer, and particularly the home-owning consumer, who is our customer, is healthy. They're employed. They've seen...
They're healthy. They're really healthy. Healthy? They're in debt up to their necks. What do you mean, healthy? But let's get back to the stock market. See, it doesn't matter how screwed up Wall Street is and how much they lie to you. If you follow the footprint of the money, you're going to always constantly make money. As long as you know how to buy a stock, go long. But here's the trick, short the stock when it goes down, because you've got to follow the print of the money. If you're not following the footprint of money and you're following the BS, like yesterday, 0.1%, wow, inflation's really down. Oh, look at the PPI. Inflation on the PPI went down 0.5%. What are these people, insane? So here's the problem. We have debt and deficits. Nobody wants to talk about that either. How are we going to sustain a rally when we have debt and deficits? How are we going to sustain a rally when the banks are broke, and the only time they can prop the banks up when they throw a whole bunch of money at it? My God, look at the money they keep throwing at these banks. I mean, they got, remember that when those three banks collapsed, look at the money they threw at those. Oh my God. Are they going to just keep doing that forever? 112 billion in 2008, and then the worst one, oh my God, in 2010. I don't have the numbers in front of me here, but it was ridiculous. Like 50 billion, 125 billion, 112 billion, another 30 billion, another 12 billion. What are you, nuts? But the problem is the debt and deficits. We have a crisis. When Biden spends more money than he takes in tax revenue, you're screwed. Because Yellen has to pay down that deficit. And she has to borrow money. She's got to replenish. Once she borrows that money and pays it, she's got to replenish her checking account again. That's more inflation. Oh, I get it. But inflation's down 0.1%. And this dope tells us everything is just fine.
The economy is resilient.
Yeah, it's resilient. I forgot. Okay, it's resilient. So she has to borrow money from countries like China and Japan. Large pension funds, hedge funds, insurance companies, large banks around the world. The problem with that, those banks are loaning money to Caterpillar, Delta Airlines, big developers in New York City, Chicago, building malls and retirement centers and all that sort of thing. But what does she do? She goes to those people and say, stop loaning to Caterpillar, stop loaning to Delta, stop loaning to the big developers doing the new golf course and condos. Don't loan to them. We'll give you more money. We need to borrow the money from you. That's called crowding out. So what they've been doing, they've been crowding out development. They've been crowding out Caterpillar and Delta, all these people that need money. They're crowded out. These people say, we're not going to give money anymore to them. Why would we do that when the government is willing to pay us more interest? And so now our economy is collapsing because the government is telling these people that have money, give us the money. We'll borrow it from you at higher rates. That's called crowding out. You're screwed. But it doesn't matter as long as you follow the footprint of the money. Again, when we started to buy these stocks, remember how many times you hear me say again and again and again, we're going to have one big rally before the crash, one big rally before the crash. So in October, so what do? we did great. We went in and we even put some scouts on AU and GDX gold. Intel, we bought Intel on October 24th. That's up 27%. We bought TLT. That's up 7%. Then October 27th, we bought Microsoft, Apple, NVIDIA, AMD. Those were up on an average of 18-20%. Then I said, you got to buy the banks that same day. Now, I didn't tell them buy them all. I said pick one bank and one tech stock. But XLF's up 7%, KRE's up 13%. These banks, on average, are up about 17, 15, 17%. Our builders are up about 15%. Our spiders are up 8%. Our Qs are up 10%. It's not going to last. No. It's not going to. And as long as we have the fake business news network in there taking parking space in everyone's head, the tourist investor, which is a herd of cattle, anything will spark that herd, to run, and they know how to do it, believe me. So I want you to just think of one thing at the end of today. First, help St. Jude. That's one thing I want you to think of. Join our gang so we can help you free for 10 days so we can get you to understand how the market works and how to make money when the market goes down, how to follow the footprint of money. Then you don't care what the market does. Who cares? That you got to get yourself in that position or you're screwed. But I want you to think also, does it really make sense? Does it make sense that the amount of money that they borrowed every time the banks went down? You think that makes banks strong? I mean, when they bought, think about it. When the banks went down under Bush, right? And they borrowed $112 billion to prop the banks up. And then, okay, when the banks went down again in March, not too long ago, 2023, they printed $140 billion, another $54 billion, another $225 billion, another $30 billion, and then they had to set up a separate account, which is the Bank Term Funding Program, $12 trillion, so they could tell the CEOs of the 180 banks, the 180 regional banks, look, don't tell anybody you're losing money. You don't tell anybody because Dodd and Frank were both more crooked than a corkscrew. They set it up so you don't have to report. It's called mark to market. Don't worry about it. Don't have to tell anybody you're losing money. Just tell them you got profits. Then they did the same thing with Citi and the biggest banks. Can you imagine Citi and Bank of America and Wells Fargo, JP Morgan lying about their earnings? The biggest one to me was Bank of America when I said they had $41 billion in profits when they were losing $132 billion. They had $132 billion losses, but they don't have to claim the losses because Frank and Dodd rigged it so they don't have to. This is the only industry you don't have to report your losses. You don't have to report them. You imagine? Not until you move them, not until you sell them or trade them, or if you just leave them dormant. Wouldn't that be nice? God, would that be a nice... Imagine these little businesses that are struggling, and they go to the bank, and they try to borrow money, some idiot at the bank. Ever go to if you're a small business and you go to a bank and borrow money, I feel so bad for you. Okay? You walk up to an idiot who's sitting there. He's never built a business. He's never built a thing in his life. And he gets and the thing I love about bankers, how come they always put the president of the bank? Everyone knows the president of the bank or the chairman, they're always 6'2". They always have perfect gray hair, thin, beautiful suits, and they're dumber than a bag of rocks. That's the banking industry for you, right? So there's great opportunity coming. Great opportunity. It's called shorter, but nobody believes this market's going to go down. Now, let's say they rigged the market to continue to go up. Let's say they're stupid enough to bring interest rates back to zero. And they could be that stupid because they don't care what happens to you. They don't care what happens to inflation because the people who run the show are the richest of the rich. And what do they want? They want inflation. That's why when Obama made the decision, okay, and Bush made the decision not to get rid of the bad banks and to fix the banks, they decide, no, let's go for inflation because we're going to get rich on the inflation. See, if they went for business investment, there'd be no inflation. We'd have beautiful jobs. We'd be a strong nation right now. Nah, all they want to do is run the tech stocks up by cheating. Here's free money. Just buy your own shares back. There's less shares available for trading, so your stock goes up. You don't even have to worry. Imagine that nice. You sit there and your stock goes from $10 to $1,000. You didn't have to make any profits. And then your bank, you sit there with your bank. Your bank's losing money, but you don't have to tell anybody. You don't have to tell anybody about your losses. So look, listen to me. We had a great opportunity in this rally. I told you it was going to happen. It did. I said to my gang members, make sure you buy banks and make sure you buy the tech stocks. And we did. We made money. Now, if they keep on running the market up, so what? But if they run the market down, which is going to happen, we'll be ready to short. Let us get you to that position that it doesn't matter. That you learn how to follow the money plan.
You have been listening to Phil's Gang with your host, Phil Grande, on the Off the Wall Street Radio Network. Off the Wall Street Radio Network. Remember to visit Phil's website at philsgang.com. That's philsgang.com. Or call the office, 877-600-4264. That's 877-600-4264.